Well, a very good evening and welcome to this week's episode of Your Manchester. How are you?
I'm very well, and you?
I'm all right, my love. I'm all right.
Yeah.
You having a busy week?
Well, yes, because on Monday...
Yes.
It was Coronation Street, 64th birthday.
64,
So I got rolled out, of course, to speak about the history of the street. In fact, I brought an artefact.
Oh, well, show me, do.
Yes.
Yes.
You see this?
Yes, right.
Yes. Can we sit? There we are.
There we go.
So this was drawn by Ellis Lowry.
Right.
And Harold Riley, his best friend, because
Yes.
they happened to be on Archie Street in Old Saw when they were filming the opening credits for the first episode, and they drew this. In fact, Harold Riley did the buildings there, and you've got St Clement's Church there, and then Lowry added the people, and they've written the story.
Whose handwriting is that in?
That's Riley's handwriting.
But right here, you will notice there is the Lowry signature.
Yes, Lowry signed
So
it.
this, what you're holding here, what would you say this would be perhaps maybe worth? Should it disappear from your hands into cheating?
Well, I know what it's worth because I have it insured because it's mine.
Right. How much is it worth?
It's about 25,000.
A bit of charcoal on paper. Honestly, the world's gone mad. Hey, there's
So-
old people sat at home with no eating on and you're walking around with a
I
frame.
may have to set fire to it, you're quite right, just to keep warm this winter.
Bit of Tinder, everybody. Other than that, how's your week been?
Well, it's carol services and pantos. I went to see lovely Vicky Entwistle in panto in Bolton on
Right.
Sunday. In Rapunzel. I've not
Yes.
seen that as a panto before.
Rapunzel?
You're very obsessed with hair. You'd like that one.
I'm very obsessed with hair.
Yeah, so I'm all, yes, here, there and everywhere.
Here, there, everywhere. Most importantly, you are here.
Yes, and are you everywhere?
Well, I'm everywhere. I'm
Yes.
somewhere in between 10 days and 12 days of non-stopping.
Yes,
at
you
the
get where
moment.
Vaseline won't.
Well, I get where Vaseline definitely should be. So, welcome to the show, everybody. We've got a marvellous show lined up for you today. What's on the show today, please, Mark?
We've got David Catterall coming on talking about Berry, haven't we? Later
Berry?
on. Yes.
The place?
The place.
Not the fruit.
No.
Right, good.
Maybe he'll bring a black pudding with him.
Right. Also today, everybody, we're going to be speaking to the cast of Tinderella. They're going to be with us in just a few seconds' time, everybody. Oh, yes, they are.
They are indeed.
See what I did there?
Yes, but they're not behind us. And not yet. And we're also going to be talking to a wonderful comedian, Scottish comedian.
Stuart Mitchell.
Yes, Stuart Mitchell, who's coming to the Frog and Bucket.
And I've also been out and about
Yes.
at Aviva, Factory International, whatever you want to call it,
yes,
this
yes.
week, looking at the new David Hockney exhibition,
Yes.
which is marvellous. I can tell you now, marvellous.
One of the best things you've seen, you said.
Well, you say one of the best things I've seen. The last thing I saw was, of course, Wicked.
Yes.
Just got no idea what was missing in it. There was definitely something missing. I think it's because I've seen the film. It felt like it should stay American, and it kind of didn't. And I really didn't enjoy Glinda in this at all. She was just not with it. The guy that played the wizard, he was quite fabulous. Just didn't hit all the points that I feel it should be. It wasn't as daft from the Glinda as we normally expect. It just was literally not doing anything for me.
Well, you see, I didn't go this time because I didn't like it when I saw it.
Well, do you know, I was so against you not liking it last episode.
I know, you went.
And now I've been, I have to say, it's giving me the dreary impact.
I didn't like it. I'm very sorry about that. I know people are raving. I'm also slightly jealous because I think we could have been very good in the lead roles, don't you?
I could see you in a pink dress.
I could see you green.
I am green with ember. Every time I'm sat next to you, your Lord, Deputy Lieutenant
Yes,
Nurse.
just
Thank
you
you very
remember.
much.
Thank you very much.
I forgot who you were then,
Yes,
to be honest
well,
with you, but you are very important.
I am a
aren't you?
lord, yes, that's right. Well, a deputy lieutenant.
A deputy
actually. But so is David that's coming on later.
It's exciting,
You'll
isn't
have
it?
two in a room at once.
Hey, we normally have. We could have had three.
Could we?
We could have had three
If
because
they'd have made you one.
if they had made me one,
Well,
but
they didn't, did they?
Don't even get a vol on these days, me. I tell you, it's terrible times. Right,
Right.
so stick around. We've got a marvellous show lined up for you. First joining us today is our lovely Dale and our lovely Verity, everybody,
Yes.
from the beautiful and smash hit. That's what we'll call it. Smash hit, international success.
Yes.
That is Tinderella.
That's right.
Eh?
Hope Mill, isn't
At
it?
Hope Mill. So welcome to both of you to the show.
Thank you so much.
Now, tell us first of all, you're playing who in Tinderella?
Prince Charming, of course.
Are you?
No. Ugly Sister, you knew that. Ugly Sister, again.
Oh,
You get
we've got
cast in
two.
these roles,
I know.
don't you?
I don't know
We've got
why.
two here.
I don't know why.
How lovely.
I'll slap that. And who are you playing in this?
Tinderella.
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 Now, obviously, there's a slight change in sound to the normal Cinderella.
Yes, I noticed.
What's been the change in the story, though?
Well, it's obviously an adult pantomime, so the story is quite similar to Cinderella, but Ella is looking for love through different dating apps. One of them obviously being Tinder.
Tinder.
Yeah. And I tell you what, I don't lose a shoe. That's for sure when I'm leaving the ball.
Oh, what do you lose?
What do you lose?
Well, I'll have to leave that to come to the show.
So how adult is this? Because I think back to Jim Davidson's Cinderella with a heavy emphasis on the sin. How adult is it in comparison to that?
It's very tongue-in-cheek.
Right.
The audience have been great. They've really been supportive. Obviously, we speak to the audience every night after the show, and a lot of people are saying it's just on the right level. It's not too blue. It's not too crude. It's just a good laugh. It's a good laugh. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I'm not keen on innuendo, as you know.
No.
I can't take it. But I suppose that... Thank you. But I suppose this will be full of it, will it?
Yes. I mean, I'm not keen on innuendos. If I see one in a script, I whip it out immediately.
Well,
Yes.
indeed.
Hold on a minute, I'm the drag queen here. Why have I not made one of these puns?
Is that what you are? I wondered.
Got my new hair on today. It's excited, isn't it?
Yes. Let's
Now
hope we have a new one for New Year's Day.
Well, I'm sure we will. Now listen, you're doing this at which theatre?
The amazing award-winning Hope Mill.
And how are you coping working with these reprobates?
Yes.
I've had just the most wonderful time because this is all very new to me. I've done a lot of like PC shows in the past.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah. This came through. I remember my agent told me, they were like, oh, you booked Tinder? And I went, oh, gosh. I was like so excited, but just so nervous of like, can I actually do this? Can I go on stage and be this character? But we've taken it in a way that's more of honing sexuality and rather than like laughing in the face of it. And I think that's something that's really great about it.
So how long is this running for and how do people get tickets, if there is any tickets?
Just go through the Hope Mill website. We're running obviously between Christmas and New Year, so I think it's 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th. Oh, and New Year's Eve they've added on. So
You do New Year's Eve as well?
well, I think it's a 3 o'clock show, so
So you
plenty
can't.
of drinking hours.
Drink after, yes.
And then we've got 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th in Manchester,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Nice.
But I think it's quite, after Christmas is done, there's quite a lull between the New Year period,
yes.
so
Yeah.
it's quite a nice treat to go and get your friends,
Yes.
leave the kids at home,
Yeah.
and come and have a good laugh with the cast for 2 hours.
Absolutely.
It sounds right up my street. Opening today, we are going down to Aviva Studios, Factory International, to look at the new exhibition by David Hockney, celebrating 60 years of his work. David Hockney takes audiences on a personal journey through 60 years of his art, utilising the extraordinary capabilities of the venue's vast warehouse space. The new run of Lightroom production, Bigger and Closer, further strengthens David Hockney's connection to the UK audiences, following his relocation back to the UK in July 2023. This exhibition takes place in a space designed for innovation and discovery. Aviva Studios was designed by the world-leading practice office of the Metropolitan Architecture, with Ellen van Loon as lead architect. The artist's process is revealed in a cycle of 6 theme chapters, featuring his most iconic images alongside lesser seen pieces and a newly created work. A unique and deeply moving running commentary by the artist is paired with an original score by Nico Muley, and the show is directed by Mark Grimmer of 59 Studio.
That's my job, I think, making pictures.
His lifelong fascination with the possibilities of new media is given vibrant expression in a show that invites visitors to see the world through his eyes. His voice is in our ears as we watch him experimenting with perspective using photography as a way of drawing with a camera, capturing the passing of time in his Polaroid collages and the joy of spring on his iPad, and showing us why only paint can properly convey the hugeness of the Grand Canyon. From LA to Yorkshire and up to present day in Normandy, this show is an unprecedented opportunity to spend time in the presence of one of the great popular geniuses of the art world, still innovating, still creating beauty and awe. For lifelong fans and those new to Hockney alike, Bigger and Closer, not smaller and further away, affords unparalleled access to the mind of Britain's most loved artist.
It looks marvellous.
Well, that was absolutely fascinating. It's truly a lesson in what I suppose most of us would take for granted, just the art of being able to look and being able to see. But what this man manages to do is see things that perhaps we wouldn't all see. It's fascinating, it's immersive, and it's definitely one. Take your sandwiches down and chill and relax and just enjoy all the 60 years that David Hockney has brought us. It's amazing. It definitely gets 5 out of 5 stars for us. So a great exhibition is what that's going to be.
Marvellous, isn't it?
Very
immersive. Indeed.
And colourful.
And some of his artwork is quite whimsical.
Whimsical, it is
Yes.
very whimsical. And of course, you speak about funny people. There is one comedian that we really should be focusing on. His name is Stuart Mitchell, and he's absolutely hilarious, and he joins us now. Welcome to the show.
Hello, how are you both doing?
Everybody seems to be talking about this tour of yours. I mean, how does it feel for you being able to do this now?
Yeah, it's madness off the back of social media. I never expected to be doing my first UK tour and crossing the border from Scotland. So no, I'm really pleased at how it's selling in Manchester. You're always a bit wary when you leave Scotland and how it's going to go, but no, people seem to be enjoying my clips online, and that's almost converting into the tickets that are going. So yeah, really chuffed.
Yeah. And what inspires your comedy?
I think it's all about my life, really, in terms of everything I say on stage is true. Actually, randomly, I met my wife when I played a serial killer in an ITV drama, and she was my first victim in the drama, which is very random. So that's the sort of thing that I speak about on stage. And I had a childhood accident when I was young, and how that really just evolved, and the madness of my life I convey on stage, and it's getting a lot of laughs in the preview, so I'm looking forward to taking it to Manchester and beyond, really.
So these stories that you talk about then, is this what kind of led you into wanting to put your stories onto the stage? Is this what led you into comedy?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've had a lot of tragedy in my life in terms of I'm an orphan. I lost my parents my mum when I was young, and then my dad sort of when I was still sort of in my early 30s. So I've turned that into comedy, and really that's enabled me to get through the bad times. And God, the world we're living in just now, I think we all need a laugh to get us through. So that's what I tend to talk about. It's something that's really true and raw to myself, and it seems to resonate with the audiences. So that's good.
And I think you're from Glasgow, and I think Glasgow is a bit like Liverpool. There's these places that seem to, I don't know whether it's the rhythm of the accent or whatever it is, but they're just funny places, and Glasgow's one of those. Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think Glasgow seems to be the place that no one wants to play in terms of it's always a tough crowd. And I've done my apprenticeship there, and in Manchester as well. I did a lot of open spots when I was starting out at great clubs like the Frog and Bucket, where I'm playing the Comedy Store, etc. So yeah, I think you're right in what you say.
So you're about to embark upon this tour then. I mean, it must feel a great privilege for you to be asked to to not just stay in one area, but to literally give your comedy to so many thousands of people.
Yeah, of course, and I think if it helps them as well to get through the tough times. I mean, there's a lot of talk in there about grieving and bereavement and losing parents and losing loved ones and how you move through that. And yeah, it's amazing just to tell my story on there and also tell stories about individuals that are no longer with us, and that really is a really comforting thing for myself as well.
Yeah, so it's cathartic as well then.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's funny. I mean, I'm talking. Thank God he's talking about death on stage. Hopefully, I won't die myself on stage. But no, I think we do find humour in the sort of some difficult situations and difficult taboo subjects. But as I say, I've tested it all over so far, and now I'm ready to take it to the big stage.
Fantastic.
It does sound fantastic. Of course, you're coming to Manchester, as you've mentioned. Tell everybody where you're coming to, which venue, and when we can catch you here.
Of course, so I'm in the Manchester Frog and Bucket on Wednesday, the 2nd of April, and you can get tickets through the website at stuartmitchellcomedy.com. And it would be great to see as many people there as possible to share my story and just have a good laugh, a good night of banter, as we would say in Scotland.
And finally, just before we let you go, you are working your way up the ranks there. You're doing all the right things, and everybody seems to be singing your praises for doing the right things. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I think it makes me feel positive, but I think we should just, I guess, spend every day kindness. We forget sometimes that we need to be kind to others in this world, and I think that's very important. And just living each day to be the best person you can be. I think that's the motto for life.
Amazing.
Good message for Christmas.
I like that. Very good indeed. So make sure you're all checking this one out. All the details are right below us right here, right now. In the meantime, thank you so much for your time today, Stuart. How good's that?
Very, very good, isn't
Up
it?
and coming he is. Up and coming.
Very much so. Now,
Yes.
you've also been talking to the cast of another show, haven't you? At Bolton.
The what?
At Bolton.
At Bolton. Yes. The Jungle Book.
Yes.
Love the Jungle Book. It's just memories galore. But where does the Jungle Book originate from?
So it's written by Rudyard Kipling.
Right.
At the end of the 19th century.
All right. Mm-hmm. And good story.
Yeah, so the theme really is loneliness, because he was very lonely as a child in boarding school, brought up by other people.
Right.
And so you have the story of Mowgli.
Yes.
Who is a boy found in the jungle.
Right.
Brought up by animals.
Ah.
And then Shere Khan is the tiger who wants to eat him.
Cheerful. Now, of course, this was made famous by Disney, wasn't it, back in the day?
In 1967.
Was it?
The film came out. The year I was born. That's frightening, isn't it?
Is it?
It is.
Well, forget all of that, everybody, and focus on a brand new production of The Jungle Book. It's going to be at the Bolton Octagon, and I spoke to two of the fellow cast members playing those infamous parts that you mentioned, and this is what they had to say a little bit earlier on. It's a good story, isn't it? I mean, it's lasted and it's worked through decade upon decade, hasn't it? Who are you two playing in this then?
Well, this is like it's a new musical adaptation. So it's not the Disney version. It's not Panto. It's like a brand new musical version. So there's six of us, and we all multi-role play. But our main characters, Charlie plays Balloo.
I play Balloo the bear.
And I play Shere Khan the tigress.
It just reminds me of when I was, I'm going to say Scouts, if you can just imagine me being masculine. What do we see with on the stage then?
I'd say the most spectacular costume we've got is Car the Snake.
Yeah, Car the Snake's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
As is yours, actually. I think
yeah,
yours
to be
is
fair,
pretty good.
Shere Khan, it's very much like Paso Doble inspired. It looks like Shere Khan's gone on Strictly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and we ended up, because we saw the amazing like images of what the costumes are going to be. So we actually then incorporated some of that kind of Paso movement into there's a sort of epic fight sequence. But yeah, Car the Snake.
It's like a
salsa-ing snake,
yeah.
and there's sort of three of us that are part of the snake costume, and yeah, it's pretty epic.
It really is literally the ultimate tale, isn't it? How can people get tickets for this, and when's it on?
So it's on until the 4th of January. So we're on right now. We just finished a school show this morning, and you can buy tickets on the Bolton Octagon website, which is www.octagonbolton.co.uk.
Well, that looks lovely, doesn't it? We must rush over to Bolton.
Actually, no, it's a lovely theatre, though.
The Octagon?
Yeah.
Yes, it is, and very handy parking there as well. But yes, I've
You
always...
love your
I do like
parking.
the park. It's very important, isn't it?
Not
You've
for
got the
me.
NCP
I don't
Octagon just
drive.
there. No.
And the chauffeur can wait for me. It's not a problem. Not a problem at
Well,
all.
last time I parked there, I used the mayor's parking bay.
Did you mind?
I don't know.
You never
got a
asked.
ticket. But I'm not suggesting that for everybody, of course. Now we've got another guest in the studio.
We have indeed.
Yeah,
It's
overflowing,
when you said today plethora at the start of the show.
Yes.
You was not kidding, were you?
No,
Flo?
it's packed like the Titanic.
Just hope it goes down better. Yes, indeed. Go on.
Yes, David Catterall Dl.
Oh, God.
I'm not the only one.
I'm
here.
surrounded by DLs, which stands for.
Deputy Lieutenant.
And that job is a very important
Oh,
job.
very, very important.
It means you're constantly acting. I will have this learned by the end of this year.
What?
It means you're constantly acting in capacity for His Royal Highness the King.
We act for the Lord Lieutenant, who is the King's personal representative of the county.
I was so near.
But I do like the billing. That was better billing.
Thank you.
I'll take that as well.
So how did you get involved in being Deputy Lieutenant then?
It was unusual for me because I was put forward by two separate people independently. But
Right.
it's all of the work that I do in Bury around the LGBT community and the charity that I run and Bury Pride. It's the hoodie.
Bury Pride, it's a good one.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Of course, I have to say that. And then some other things that I do out of that as well. So just kind of charity work. And you're seen as a person of good standing.
So being a Deputy Lieutenant, because I'm constantly asking this one, because I know his involvement in charities is endless, and it gives you a kind of reward, although not a reward, but a kind of pat on the back for achieving so much with the different charities. For you, how has that changed your life, and how has it made your life better by helping others?
Yeah, completely, absolutely, and I love the fact that I can be involved with people and be even just a small part of it, making things a little bit better with everything that I can do with any kind of resources I've got available to me. And being a Deputy Lieutenant is just completely and utterly surreal, completely. So I work for Bury Council for my sins, but I suddenly became kind of a civic person.
And I suppose on the other side of the coin, there'll be naysayers watching this that thinking, Deputy Lieutenant, that sounds a very pompous role. Is it an outdated role? To them, what would you say?
I don't think it is, because it's all of the stuff that goes on behind it. So as part of a Deputy Lieutenant role, you go and look at charities and put them forward. Not put them forward, you review them if they've been nominated for King's Award for Voluntary Service. So you get this opportunity to go to like a charitable organisation, and they give you like a tour round of what they're doing, and being able to go into that environment and see what all these people are doing, and they're telling you all of the stories and telling them all the things that they've been doing, is it's just complete privilege to be part of that, and then to be a part of them getting potentially that King's Award. And it's about recognition for the work that they're doing. If you're a royalist or not, I think if you're doing that kind of work in the community, you need to be recognised, and by being a DL, you can do that. So that's part of it that I love, because you get to see the insides of these charities that nobody else would get to see unless you're actually a volunteer.
Now, taking your DL hat off,
You wear a hat.
I don't wear a hat, but
I do. Yeah,
he has the full military uniform.
I do.
Oh, do you?
I
Got a
don't. I
sword.
look like a dictator of a South American country.
And a box of oxy powder, obviously.
Is what?
Is it Royal Oxy powder?
Royal oxy powder, obviously.
I'm never going to ask. I've got Crisco, but you're involved in so much charity work as well, aren't you? I mean, you're here today with your Bury Pride. Tell us about Bury Pride.
So Bury Pride, it started in 2017,
Yes.
and it was on the back of what was a youth group had formed what was called the Rainbow Walk.
Right.
And there was a group called Proud of Gayness. They named it themselves, so hence the terrible name. But they had this walk. It was about 100 young people walking around Bury Town Centre, and then at the end, a few photos, everyone went home. And I was working for Bury Council, and I wanted to do something different. My background was in events, so I said to them, let's do something a bit more. Found out that Wythenshawe had a pride, and then I found Wigan had a pride. And I said, well, if my 16-year-old self had been able to go to Wigan Pride, it would have been a different. I think it would, because there was no representation in Wigan. I saw that Wythenshawe had a pride, Wigan had a pride. Thought, well, I think it would be, if I can do something for my Bury equivalent of my 16-year-old self, to put a Bury Pride event on. So I used all of my favours that I had through my event work through the council. Asked the council to fund it. They said no, but feel free to use whatever you've got to do it. So then a team of us kind of pulled together and did this Pride event, but made sure that the cornerstone of it was the Walking Rainbow, because it was the young people that started it. And then from then we got funding, it got bigger, it got better, and now it's still going. I've stepped away from organising it because work commitments and various things, and there's only so many washed up 90s bands that I can book as a middle-aged gay man.
We are
so
right.
it needed to be,
Do I know? Yes. I feel as I'm in my 90s.
So it needed.
So do we.
So it needed more younger people. So younger people have taken over, and I just help with like kind of the background, seeing what funding we can get and that kind of thing.
But it's becoming an important one, hasn't it?
Say it again.
It's becoming an important Pride.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's and it's part of the kind of calendar events within Bury. It's one of the things it's talked about in the same way as the running festival and the Bury 10K, and it's been, you know, they.
When we very first started Joe Manchester, we had Carlos Timbian on. Is he a deputy?
Yes,
he is.
And he was saying how important he feels it would be to have all these sort of very small prides, and how that would be life-changing for so many people that perhaps don't feel comfortable enough going to the Manchester prides, to the London prides, and then all of a sudden it erupted. And it's fantastic to see. So this going forward then with the deputy lieutenancy that you hold here for the pair of you, I suppose I'll open this while you're both here. Yes. Then I'd have to speak to you on your own, do I? Which is wonderful.
That'd be nice.
If people wanted to have more belief in this and know more about what the deputy lieutenancy is, what would you say to them?
I would say have a look at the Lord Lieutenant's website, because it tells you exactly what it's all about, and then it shows all of the other deputy lieutenants and what they do. But I think it's important for us as deputy lieutenants to, when we are representing and when we're in different environments, to not promote it but talk about it so people understand what it's about, because it's not, again, about us, it's about what is being represented, and as a mean to recognise people for things like personal honours and King's Award or whatever. It's that kind of recognition, and I think that's what it's all about.
I'm being told we're out of time.
What?
I know. Can you believe it?
No.
Okay, we'll try.
In fact, we'll stay on air. What can they do if we just keep talking?
Cut us off. Cut us off. They're very good like that. Go on, you can wrap us up to this week.
Oh, all right. Fair enough. Well, thank you very much, David, for
Pleasure.
coming in and talking.
Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation.
You're very welcome.
Yes.
And we've had a rather packed show, lots of shows to go and see. Now then, next week, we'll be bringing a show with lots and lots of guests, and I'm looking to you to see if you know of any of the guests that we got on next week yet.
No.
No?
No.
Okay, you're not telling.
Well, I would if I could, but I can't.
Well, a lot of mysterious people on next week's show. Right. Join us then.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of Your Manchester.